So back in December, Alex pinged Noah and I on Discord and asked, "Hey guys, want to do a layout war?" Bet. So we ended up building our own layouts. But hold on a second. Alex decided that we needed to set some ground rules. But I'm too lazy to read them out loud, so here's 5 seconds each of the rules that's been listed. You can just pause the video and read out the rules yourself. I'm not really going to stop you. The engines I've chosen for this layout war are, of course, Thomas, Percy, James, Rosie, and lastly, Stepney. Thomas will, of course, be pulling Annie and Clarabelle. Percy will be pulling his Tomy consist. James will be pulling the old coaches. Rosie will just be pulling some vans. And Stepney will be pulling a singular truck and a brake van. It had been years since I built a layout to this scale, and I wanted to go big or go home, which is funny because I'm actually building this at home. Building the layout, it was very thrilling and nostalgic for me. So let's begin the tour, and we'll start this at Knapford Station. The outside line of the layout is the main line, while the inner ones represent the loops and branch lines. If you were to travel on the outside loop of the line, you round the bend and you enter a tunnel. Out of the tunnel, engines will come across a Y switch, sending them still onto the outside line. Engines would then cross over the double track switches and then pass through the junction station of the branch line. Around the bend, you can come around into the docks. You can tell because Cranky the Crane lives here. Under the carriage shed, the engines will bend around the bend again and enter the long straight. Ahead, there is a special auto switch that switches engines from the inside and outside lines. Engines from the outside line now travels on the inside and vice versa. I did this so the engines can travel into the inner loops and branch lines. Let's begin with the inner lines. When engines enter the inside line, they get switched onto the Y switch. From there, they can go on to the automatic switch that will turn them onto 3 different tracks. The first track sends engines to the right, sending them up onto a bridge and wrapping around the spiral. Passing over the houses and over the divided lines before descending it down under the spiral. They will then pull into dry or station, round under the bridge and into the junction. Pass through the junction, they go through the docks. And once past the docks, they come across a small destination which consists of the conductor's house and water tower. And then lastly, they come into the coaling plant. Under the hopper they go, and onto the third track, which I will eventually get to. The second track, going straight, is admittedly pretty boring. Basically, it sends engines back onto the outside line of the main line, making them loop back to the inside line further down. Admittedly, the third track is actually my favorite. Engines will travel up to the 3-tier spiral rails and then cross over this long iron girder bridges before descending down the spiral before switching back into the inside line of the main line. I want to go back and talk about the first track and explain the loop. When engines ascend onto the bridge, there are some points. If the points are pointed straight, it leads the engines back down to Knapford. I built this into the layout for 2 reasons. 1, to fill in the available space, and 2, in case if an engine is travelling too close behind another train. So therefore I can send them into the loop line and have them wait at the station, and then send them off as soon as there's some clearance. Also because I thought it was funny to do so. And that does conclude everything on the entire layout. I am very happy with how it turned out. If you'd like to check out Alex and Noah's layouts, the links to their channels are below in the description. So please, now enjoy the hard-working engines on their little railway.